Hello, and welcome to Mustang News. I'm Caroline Harden.
And I'm Joy Parrish.
Today's top stories are students' opinions on makeup days, new athletic conference changes, and NTHS book drive. All this and more here on Mustang News.
Wake County schools are facing a projected $3 million budget shortfall that will likely lead to budget cuts this school year. The school district finance staff gave a presentation to the school board describing the rising costs that are driving the district over budget. A major overall change is how the state funds for traditional public schools are affecting districts like Wake County, where their enrollment is growing. Also, the cost of heating, cooling, and other utilities have been millions of dollars over budget this school year. The school board plans to establish a budget committee to work on identifying the potential budget cuts.
Our next story is about overcoming the lack of art funding in schools, brought to you by Sam Schuster and Declan Anderson.
For many students, the arts are more than just a class. It's a passion, community, and a form of expression. But behind creativity lies a challenge.
The arts need funding, especially on the technical theater side, because just about everything is so expensive. The lights are expensive, the equipment to use the lights are expensive. We need to buy lumber, we need to buy tools. So without the money to get those resources, I don't think we would be able to learn to the best of our abilities.
A couple of years ago, we actually had a student who was kind of frustrated by the quality of the supplies, and he used that as his senior project and had did a fundraiser or a drive where he asked people to bring in quality art supplies to help and boost that within the art room, which helped a lot.
While financial support may be limited, the artists stay positive.
Whenever I kind of hit a wall or lack motivation, I always look at, okay, what are the students doing and what are they really energized about? And that kind of gives me energy again to see, okay, yes, they can do this. And outside of school commitment that students are dedicated to and are able to thrive with what they're passionate about.
Despite financial limitations, the arts community continues to thrive because community and passion can't be cut from a budget. Sam Schuster, reporting for Mustang News.
Next up, we have information about peer networks.
Peer Networks is a chance for Middle Creek High School students to share lunch and foster connections with their peers in the special education program at school.
I participate in peer networks because I think it's a great space to get to know some of your peers at Middle Creek and just have fun with them and meet new people. And I think it's also a great time to meet other students that go to Middle Creek and want to participate in the same thing. And I think it's just a great kind thing you can take a little bit of your time each week to do and just put a smile on someone's face.
During lunch, students go to their assigned classroom and participate in various activities with their peers.
Sometimes it's been a dance party, other times it's been playing chutes and ladders, or bingo's always a popular one. Uno's another one that, students love. Sometimes it's coloring.
Peer Networks has greatly affected our school and created a stronger community that relies on one another. Peer Networks is a good way for students to get volunteer hours while also creating friendships.
Keep rolling. Go ahead, Reagan. Take your time. Oh, Reagan! Gotta get you working.
I'm Lene Tapster, and I'm Natalie Sheridan, here with Mustang News.
Now, from Claire Hibbert and Hayden Tripolowski, we have the MCHS cheer team's opinions about the 24-25 season.
The 24-25 cheerleading season has come to an end. After a long season, the team is thinking about the challenges and successes of the year and how they're going to prepare for the next season. Leah Norris is a junior cheer captain at Middle Creek High School.
I would probably say my favorite part of the 24-25 season was probably just football season, as a whole, just because I just feel like it gives us more of an opportunity to work together in a way, and it's just I feel like everyone's just in kind of better spirits around that time.
Annabelle Trost is a senior captain on the cheer team.
I would say losing people, whether they were injured or people quit. It was hard to have to rework our routine constantly, but we did it and we made it to the end.
The cheer team has attended many events, including football games and basketball games, competitions, high school as well as elementary school pep rallies, youth camps, UCA camp, and many more. Team returners are excited to use the lessons learned from this season to improve for the seasons to come. I'm Claire Hibbard reporting for Mustang News.
The Wake County school system is considering using a limited number of remote learning days. Using remote learning days when in-person classes are canceled would allow students to not have to make up those school days in the future. No final decision has been made yet by the board to allow the change, but some community members have argued Wake County should offer online classes instead of canceling them. School districts and charter schools who want to use remote learning days need to submit a plan to the State Department of Public Instruction by July 1st. Clint Robinson, Chief of Staff and Strategic Planning, told the committee, "I think the staff is saying, is there any possibility for us to utilize these days at the front end so that schools won't have to do particular makeup days and things of that nature and come back into school?"
A follow-up story about this is brought to you by Oliver Hickman and Wyatt Phillips.
Students and teachers at Middle Creek are always adapting to changes brought about by weather closures.
They are just one of a few things you just have to adjust to. I mean, things happen like fire drills and honor breakfasts.
Even so, the downsides of weather closures can be challenging.
We recently just had a test that I had to push back because the day after the break did not seem like anyone was in the right headspace to do that.
So it's like we get students right where we need them to be, and then when we're out for 3 or 4 days, I think they take it as vacation, so they aren't really on top of like schoolwork and stuff.
Virtual classes might be in the picture if push comes to shove.
So I think virtual classes are important as an option. I can do a lot online, thankfully, and again, because of my experience, I have that in my bag of tricks. So
we need to see faces, and if students are required to turn on their cameras, like we don't know what you know or don't know. And in the classroom setting, we can see like the look in the student's face. I think that should be an option, but as the last resort. But like, I don't feel like they should take all of our teacher work days either. So there needs to be some kind of balance between bank days and then maybe throwing in remote learning days here and there.
In the end, weather closures disrupt school routines and impact transportation, but are necessary in the name of safety.
Some of those days that we lost are days that teachers can do grading before the quarter ends and things like that. So we're going to miss those days, having no students in school. But, you know, again, you got to be able to adjust.
Reporting from Middle Creek High School, I'm Wyatt Phillips for Mustang News.
Now to talk about students' opinions about these days are George Daniels and Holden Adams.
Hi, my name is Holden Adams, and today we will be getting an inside look on how students and teachers feel about the upcoming makeup days due to the snow we've had in the past couple of weeks.
Wake County has already announced 3 makeup days throughout the spring semester. However, one of these days cuts spring break short. Let's get an inside look to see how students and teachers respond to this.
I would not be opposed to teaching online school during snow days. And in fact, I think it would be good for us to kind of stay in the habit of, providing students with education, synchronously or asynchronously online.
Me personally, I would be opposed to online schooling because I don't feel I learn that well in that kind of environment. I usually just my mind wanders off too easily. I just don't learn anything that day.
As you can see, students and teachers have mixed opinions on the makeup days. I'm Holden Adams, and this is Mustang News.
The Middle Creek chapter of the National Technical Honor Society is hosting a children's book drive through Wake Up and Read, a nonprofit organization whose mission is to get kids reading at grade level by 3rd grade. The book drive will allow Middle Creek to give back to the community and foster a love of reading in young kids.
So the goal of NTHS is to do service to the community around, and because NTHS is focused more on students who are involved in CTE and sort of that career focus, the idea was literacy.
To organize and promote this book drive, we first started by talking to Dr. Williamson and figuring out what we wanted to do as our community action. And then we started promoting it by posting Instagram posts on our stories. We had all of our officers repost it, and we just spread it by word of mouth.
So the goal of NTHS is to encourage leadership in these students who are involved in CTE. So leadership, also career focus. And the idea of the literacy drive was that it wasn't just students who are going to collect old books that they happen to have lying around in their room, but to encourage their peers, members of their community, and families to donate through them, therefore encouraging that leadership role. There's many different topics within CTE, but the idea of literacy and children being able to get involved in a variety of interests is that common thread.
I think it's important for Middle Creek students to participate because not only are you participating in a club that's already at your school, but you're helping other kiddos be able to get into something that they might love and not already know about.
The drop-off in between NTHS club meetings is in my room, room 2322, and then NTHS members can also bring them to the club meetings.
Make sure to donate all books by February 28th. I'm Ella Lancaster from Mustang News, and back to you guys in the studio.
Educators and parents have requested millions of dollars in repairs at Wake County schools, mainly to fix old HVAC equipment that has led to recent dismissal at several schools in the district. In 2024, Board Chair Chris Hagerty says there was 40 school days when students were dismissed early due to HVAC equipment issues. The county will be pushing commissioners to find some funding for this spring's budget repairs. But they are looking ahead to 2026 when they want to put a bond on the ballot for Wake County voters to potentially fund a more widespread for fixes. Hagerty says the board understands the urgency behind the repairs and that the bond will allow the district to find more financial flexibility, especially with the uncertainty ushered by the inflation and new tariffs.
Joining us, I'm Adriel Garcia. Wake County continues its efforts to protect students by implementing the new Rave Panic button across Wake County schools. The system is designed to help teachers and staff communicate with first responders faster than ever before. Today, I met with Officer Perry to hear how this system works.
So if there's an emergency, either on campus or in a classroom, the teachers will have the app downloaded on their phone. They're able to press the button, document what type of emergency is, and it'll send out a signal to the local jurisdictions on what's going on.
The Rave Panic button is set to be fully operational this spring, but is it truly an effective enhancement to school security?
I think anything to take safety precautions is always going to help us. If there are mistakes and glitches, it is what it is, and we'll get through it and get over it, and move forward. But I always think it's a good idea.
Although the introduction of the Rave Panic button should be overall beneficial, there's still one concern. How will they manage false alarms?
So you actually have to, once you open the app, you have to press the button and hold it for, I believe it's a few seconds. That way it's more of an intentional act of holding it down to send that signal. But if it is a mistake, I do believe that you can recall that message.
With these precautions, the Rave Panic button seems like a promising addition to security efforts across Wake County. Adriel Garcia, Mustang News.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Caroline Harden here with Joy Parrish, and we'll see you next week on Mustang News.